Hey, everybody, welcome back. I want you guys to take a look at this. Senator Rand Paul, a Republican from Kentucky, claimed he and his family were disinvited from the annual White House congressional picnic, an event traditionally attended by lawmakers from both parties and their families. This incident, reported yesterday, stems from Rand Paul's vocal opposition to President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, a sweeping legislative package that includes tax cuts, spending increases, and other policy priorities. And here's the video. We're going to watch this and we're going to go over it. We're going to talk about it. And he says, "I've been told that I've been uninvited from the White House picnic. Every Democrat will be invited, every Republican invited, but I'll be the only one disallowed." I just find this incredibly petty. But what do you guys think about this? Is it petty? Is it validated? Is it, is this acceptable? Let me know in the comments. Let's get started.
From my office, and it's kind of a great time of the year in the summer. My family comes up. My son and daughter-in-law and grandson are coming up because we were going to the White House picnic, but I've just been told that I've been uninvited from the picnic. I think I'm the first senator in the history of the United States to be uninvited to the White House picnic. The White House is owned by the taxpayers. We all are members of it. Every Democrat will be invited. Every Republican will be invited, but I will be the only one disallowed to come on the grounds of the White House. I just find this incredibly petty. I mean, I have been, I think, nothing but polite to the president. I have been a intellectual opponent, a public policy opponent, and he's chosen now to uninvite me from the picnic and to say my grandson can't come to the picnic. I just the level of immaturity is beyond words. I've been here long enough that if anybody has ever followed me, I've been a critic of Obama, I've been a critic of Biden, I've been a critic of the previous Trump, but always in I think, a reasonable fashion along policy. And so they've decided they want to declare war on my family and exclude us from the White House. And I just think it's incredibly petty, and I hope someone will ask them some questions about how they've decided to sink to this step.
What was the explanation given to you?
No explanation. We're just not welcome. But you have to get a ticket, and we've always gotten tickets. I mean, I've been to 10 White House picnics. There's like Easter egg rolls, there's picnics. This is for Congress. And I think what's particularly galling about it is, I don't know if this came from the president on down, let's hope not, but if not, it's coming from his petty staffers who have been running a sort of a paid influencer campaign against me for 2 weeks on Twitter. If you look at my Twitter, it's just gobs and gobs of these people. We know they're being paid because the White House, someone has told us that the White House called them from the White House and offered them money to attack me online.
Come on, guys. Let's be real. Does that make any sense at all? Does it really make any sense at all? Or would the most obvious reason behind him not getting a ticket be the most logical? Either way, I do want to share my screen. I'll share my screen with you guys, and we can look at this together. We're going to come back to this post here by President Trump, but instead, let's see if I have this bookmarked, because oh yeah, here it is. TikTok has put out their marching orders to thousands of creators, releasing an almost identical message regarding ICE raids and illegals. Being undocumented in the U.S. is not a crime. It's a civil violation, just like jaywalking or an unpaid parking ticket. And another one here says people cannot be illegal on stolen land. Being undocumented is a civil offense like driving with an expired license. The fake ID you use is more illegal. Failing to pay a debt is a civil offense. Colin Rugg says there appears to be a coordinated messaging campaign spreading through TikTok where large creators have released nearly identical statements on the ICE raids. Many large creators are releasing extremely similar statements where they shame other creators for not speaking out against the raids. The creators tell other people they're bad people unless they post videos of themselves condemning the raids, and many are regurgitating the same phrases comparing jaywalking to illegal immigration, for example, and some users are beginning to question whether the posts are organic or not.
Being in a country that you're in illegally is a civil offense, not a criminal one. You know what else is a civil offense? Jaywalking.
And being undocumented is not a criminal offense. It's a civil one. And if you've ever jaywalked, congratulations, because you've also committed a civil offense.
Have you ever sped over the speed limit? Have you ever drank?
Yeah, guys, look, I thought there was another one that shared how this guy says videos are starting to emerge on the internet of people claiming to be paid $150 a day to act violently in ICE raids. Okay, that one's a little bit different. And I thought there was one where they were saying that they were being paid $200 a day, but maybe it's not for the post. Maybe it's to actually attend the riots. This is insane. This is unreal, folks. This is ridiculous to think that anybody would pay to try and smear Rand Paul. There's no need. He does it on his own. And his illogical, just irrational conspiracy theory of him being uninvited, disinvited, his entire family, probably makes more sense from the standpoint of maybe you just didn't receive your ticket. Maybe it's lost. Maybe that's the more logical reason here. And you're going and taking this to the extreme. It sounds like you're the one who's spreading this propaganda and, trying to get the media or social media to regurgitate your talking points of President Trump or his administration and staff, taking a virtual hit out on you. Come on, guys, let's be real. DC Drano shares, even though Rand Paul is pro-amnesty for illegal aliens and wants China to eat our lunch on trade deals, President Trump has now invited him to the White House picnic. But better yet, President Trump's post says, of course, Senator Rand Paul and his beautiful family and his beautiful wife and family are invited to the big White House party tonight. He's the toughest vote in the history of the U.S. Senate. But why wouldn't he be? Besides, it gives me more time to get his vote on the great, big, beautiful bill, one of the greatest and most important pieces of legislation ever put before our senators and congressmen/women. It will help to make America great again. I look forward to seeing Rand. The party will be great.
So we have that, and now we're uninvited to the picnic. And it's like, I don't know, it's just incredibly petty, and it shows that, look, I'm arguing from a true belief and worry that our country is mired in debt and getting worse, and they choose to react by uninviting my grandson to the picnic. I don't know, I just think it really makes me lose a lot of respect I once had for Donald Trump.
You were already a no on the bill because of the debt limit increase that was included in it, but hypothetically they could change that, get you to yes. Does this make you less likely to get to yes? I mean,
well, when they tell you your grandson can't come to a picnic at the White House that all of Congress is allowed to come to, I don't know, it just shows such a pettiness. But they've shown over the last week they don't care about my vote at all. Because I've told them I can and would vote for the bill if the debt ceiling were taken off of it. So conceivably, there might be some situation in which they needed my vote. Instead, they have decided to try to attack my character. They've misdirected people, saying he's a Democrat, he's for open borders, and all this craziness online, because I think I'm having some effect with the argument on the debt. Having effect that we have a $2 trillion deficit this year. They like to blame it on Democrats, but guess what? The spending levels right now are Republican spending levels. If they vote to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion, the debt will be the responsibility of Republicans. And so how do they choose to respond? They're afraid of what I'm saying, so they think they're going to punish me. I can't go to the picnic, as if somehow that's going to make me more conciliatory. So it's silly in a way, but it's also just really sad that this is what it's come to. But petty vindictiveness like this, I don't know. It makes you wonder about the quality of people you're dealing with.
How many of your family was disinvited? How many people were supposed to come?
My son and daughter-in-law and my grandson are coming up on a flight, and they would be here in the morning, and then we'd go there tomorrow afternoon. And my wife and I, we probably have been every year. President Obama didn't disinvite us. The former President Trump didn't disinvite us. Biden didn't disinvite us. And we always did this. You'll hear people around town say, well, I'm not going to the Christmas party because it's President Obama's White House. It's our White House. It's the Americans' White House. We all pay for it. And we've always gone to the Christmas parties, whether it was a Republican or a Democrat. We've gone to the egg roll. We like the stuff. We like going to celebrate stuff in our nation's capital with our family. And I don't know. It's just, I think, a really sad day that this is the level of warfare they've stooped to, but it's also not very effective. It probably has the opposite result. It doesn't make me have a real warm, fuzzy feeling for the White House that they're telling my family can't come to the White House. So I don't know. I just disappointed more than anything.
What does it say about Trump's character, in your opinion?
Well, who knows if it came from him? It could be from lower level staff members. But these are people that shouldn't be working over there. But I mean, you have people that are basically going around casually talking about getting rid of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus is when, a tyrant throws someone in jail. They can plead to a lawyer who says, show me the body. You have to prove why someone's put in jail. It's one of the most fundamental rights we have. And the same people that are directing this campaign are the same people that casually would throw out parts of the Constitution and suspend habeas corpus. So I think what it tells that they don't like hearing me say stuff like that. And so they want to quiet me down, and it hasn't worked. And so they're going to try to attack me. They're going to try to destroy me in other ways, and then do petty little things like social occasions or whatever. But it probably will not work. It probably will not make me cow down or bend over.
You're talking about Stephen Miller.
Do you think Stephen Miller uninvited you from the White House?
I don't know. I think that it's somebody acting in a very petty way. And if that's the truth, I'm a big boy and we can go have a picnic in another park, we can go to the mall. But it's just really kind of sad that this is where we are, and that they think that this is somehow in their prerogative to sort of, literally every Democrat is invited, every Republican is invited. And to say that my family's no longer welcome, kind of sad actually. My grandson has a Make America Great hat. My son and daughter-in-law, they like Donald Trump. I like Donald Trump. But when they want to act this way, it's where they begin to lose a lot of America, who just wonders, why does everything have to descend to this level? Why can't anything be more highbrow and more of a intellectual discussion where we have a disagreement, but it doesn't have to descend to this?
Do you think Stephen Miller should be working in the White House? Do you think Stephen Miller should be working in the White House?
I'm just going to leave it at that.
How did they let you know about
well, we just tried to get our tickets and they said you're not invited.
And how old is your grandson?
He's almost 6 months old.
Okay, so a little guy. Yeah. But he has a...
Yeah, we may bring him tomorrow with us, Make America Great hat.
And can you just answer the other question about the president, the character of... It's not the president of the White House, it's him.
Oh, come on, Rand Paul. Give me a break, dude. All right, folks. Let's set the record straight here. And Senator Rand Paul's spinning a tall tale, claiming he and his family, his wife, his son, his daughter-in-law, and even his 6-month-old grandson wearing a MAGA hat were uninvited to tonight's big White House party or picnic. Come on, folks. Give me a freaking break. President Trump himself just posted on Truth Social loud and clear that Rand Paul, his beautiful wife, and family are invited. No confusion, no drama, just the truth. Yet, here's Rand Paul whining the CNN reporters, of all people, really, exaggerating like a middle school girl, saying his grandson didn't get a ticket. Really? This is fake news at its finest, and it's sad to see Rand's reputation take a hit from his own lies. Why would President Trump, our fearless leader, snub the toughest vote in Senate history? He wouldn't. This is about getting Rand Paul's support for the great, big, beautiful bill, one of the most important pieces of legislation ever, set to make America great again with massive growth and benefits. And won't this bill boost our economy and secure our future? Isn't Trump's vision exactly what we need? Meanwhile, Rand Paul's out there crying to CNN. Does he think that earns respect as he claims to be a big boy? Well, shouldn't he act like a man and stand with Trump instead of peddling petty excuses and lies? Tell the real story, bro. Rand Paul's opposition to the bill and his attacks on Trump's policies, like the military parade on June 14th, likely ruffled feathers for sure. But Trump's already extended the olive branch. Reach your hand out and grab it. But either way, will Rand Paul step up, or will he keep diminishing himself even further? What do you guys think? Can we trust Rand Paul's word over President Trump's post? Look, this doesn't change my opinion of our president, and nor does it change my opinion of this incredible bill, but it definitely has an impact on my opinion of Rand Paul. And odds are the even more logical explanation here, as he continues to expose himself for the fraud that he is that at 6 months old, by the time that this event was put together and invitations and tickets were being made, maybe your grandson wasn't on the list yet because no one knew he existed. And you want to make a big deal about this? Oh, come on, guys. Give me a freaking break.